Раз. Ну вот, все нормально. Так, что ж, всем привет, меня Отыграл, конечно, ужасно. Окей. Короче, вместе со стримером пока играю. Окей, привет. У меня наконец-то заработала микро, ура.
Алло. Здорово.
Я надеюсь, не работает ровно тот микрофон, который у меня прямо сейчас по дефолту. То есть микрофон, потому что...
Ну я не знаю, как это работает.
Ну, короче, шумит.
Тебя слышно?
Типа шумит прям что-то на фоне.
Нет, не шумит.
Все, шикарно, значит. Ну все, понятно.
Ой-ой.
Все шикарно. Тут у тебя просто еще
вот.
на стриме задержка, вот. В этом прикол.
Да-да-да. О, вот он этот соло Аслан, который с нами в прошлом году. Этот тип максимально знакомый, я не знаю, как будто с ним уже играл до этого. А, Эго играет, понятно. Я его знаю. Я с эговцами играл.
Угу. Я, короче, прямо сейчас тоже запустил стрим, по факту. Вот. Честно говоря, просто не знаю, у меня все плавно идет. У тебя какие конфы у компа? На чем ты играешь? Большая разминочка. Я не знаю, у меня все плавно идет. У тебя какие конфы у компа или у ноута?
У меня комп, да он мега слабый. 40. Ой, 40. 470 RX на 4.
Офигеть. Лучше поднакопить чуть-чуть денег и закинь, чисто купи видеокарту помощнее.
Не думаю, просто лучше. И материнку.
Там
Там если покупать, сразу все.
Угу.
Вот в ближайшее время вкладываю деньги. Ну кидай. Еще или ник напиши.
Кто кого? Пошли в пати. Он в чат точку напишет.
Давай, жду.
Вот все.
Сразу.
Так. Ну, пожалуй, все же возьму. Я не знаю, недавно приобрел ноут, у меня 3050 сейчас. Так, не знаю где. Контроль-C. Тут.
The safe zone is shifting.
I'm down. Enemy spotted.
Сука, он такой ёбаный лоу, блядь. У него настолько просто отсутствие хп в данный момент.
Head to the target.
Блядь, ну сука, ёбаный ты рот, блядь.
Medic needed.
Иди нахуй, ёбище, блядь.
Medic needed.
Good run, team.
Блядь, иди нахуй, животное, блядь. Сука, как можно быть таким ебаным, везучим и ёбищем, блядь? Не понимаю, короче, когда сейчас приземлиться лучше.
Loadout here.
Цепочку нет здесь.
This is a good spot. Head over here.
Лучше.
Enemy spotted. Using a bandage.
Loadout airdrop incoming. The safe zone has been redefined.
полном отсутствии зрения, короче, просто взял какой-то нужный говно.
The safe zone is shifting. Loading.
Taking hits! Enemy spotted! Using a bandage.
Someone picked up the mist blade.
Loading. Let's go here. The safe zone has been redefined.
down.
Airdrop incoming.
Wipe them out.
The safe zone is shifting.
I'm down! Enemy spotted!
Боже, блядь, я твою мать, сука, вырезал, уёбище ебаное, блядь!
The safe zone has been redefined. The safe zone is shifting.
Enemy spotted! Head to the target!
Reloading.
Enemy hit!
же, сука, как же я ебал твою мать, нахуй. Как же я ебал твою мать, блядь. Как же, сука, я ебал твою мать, уёбище ебаное, блядь.
The safe zone is shifting.
Пиздец, третий вид. Вообще, я ебу, блядь, как я этих уёбищ не добивал, нахуй, блядь. Это такой, блядь, пиздец, нахуй. Блядь, это такой пиздец. Как я не добивал этих долбоёбов, блядь. Они с таким, сука, мизером ебаным, блядь, оставались. Я ебал просто.
Но они за стрим-снайперы, не кажется вообще.
Скорее всего, блядь, скорее всего.
Да не скорее всего, они вот они сейчас найдут выйдут.
Пиздец.
Сейчас я им напишу, что фу такими быть.
Вот именно.
Сейчас они из сказки выйдут. А, Аслан, салат.
Я не знаю, у меня бомбит пиздец сегодня. В принципе, у меня в королевке перестало лететь что-то. Типа хз, раньше прям я мог, не знаю, раньше мог такое раздать. В конце концов, раньше у меня был мастер. А сейчас что? Сейчас вообще мастер, легенда. Блять, я думал, легенда это, типа, я думал, мастер это высшее звание. Пиздец. Все это нахуй перепутал в своей жизни. Музыка в игре так раз просто ужасно. Просто ужасно. Все, вот, шикарно. Я настроил музыку. Я еще, блин, не знаю, как пользоваться чатом в катке.
Да, там он его почему-то нет. То, что что-то смотрю мне на экране.
Капец.
Enemy spotted! Enemy spotted! Enemy spotted!
Короче, удачи. Удачи.
The safe zone has been redefined.
Head to the target!
Spotted. In trouble. Down. UAV support called in.
Take fire! Enemy spotted!
Good run, team.
Ой, блядь. По-моему, это те же нахуй долбоёбы, нет? Вот у меня, блядь, такое ощущение, что это те же, сука, долбоёбы, блядь. Если это, блядь, те же, я их мамку вырезал нахуй. Просто, блядь, я не знаю. Я их мамку раскрошил, блядь. Просто я хуй знает, что я превратил. Это пиздец, потому что. Который, сука, хуй в раз подряд, блядь, попадаются одни и те же пидорасы, ебать. Просто нахуй пиздец.
Loadout airdrop incoming. Reloading. Trouble. The safe zone is shifting.
Luna, you enemy spotted.
Enemy hit!
Let's go here.
Let's go here.
Enemy spotted! Hang in there! Protection barrier up and
Luna,
running.
you've got this. Weapon here.
Enemy spotted! Taking fire!
Reloading.
Using a bandage.
I'm in trouble. Luna, you've got this.
Head to the top. Enemy spotted! Enemy spotted!
Spotted.
Enemy spotted! I'm down!
Откуда, блядь?
Enemy spotted!
Mega kill.
Head to the target! Enemy spotted! Head to the target!
Пиздец, блядь, сука. Вот все все нахуй люди, блядь, с этим персонажем, конкретно с этим скином на персонажа, блядь, что я заметил. Все они пидорас, нахуй, конченые, блядь. И это дефолт настолько просто, блядь, я не знаю. Типа, каждый человек с этим скином на этого персонажа, блядь, Ева или как ты, блядь, там нахуй. Каждый человек с этим скином конченый пидорас, блядь, без каких-либо стандартных базовых навыков игры с абсолютнейшим, блядь, эпическим везением. У которых я ебал просто матерей, как я не знаю что.
Loadout airdrop incoming.
Я их просто вырезал, блядь, я их нарезал на шашлыки, блядь. Не только нахуй матерей, блядь, родаков в целом, блядь. Да всю семью, все древо нахуй, блядь. Вон батю, бабушку, деда и так далее. Попробуй, попади, долбоёб, блядь.
The safe zone has been redefined. UAV support called in.
Ну и где ты, блядь, пупс, а? Где ты нахуй, пупсик ебаный, блядь?
I'm down. Enemy spotted.
Да сука! Блять, просто все. Типа, я не знаю, есть адекваты с этим персонажем, но их такая, блядь, сотая, если не тысячная процент. Я охуеваю просто от того, какие все персонажи с этим, блядь. Все нахуй люди с этим, блядь, персонажем, с этим конкретно скином, и не только с этим конкретно скином. В принципе, блядь, все люди с этим персом. В основном пидорасы конченые, блядь. Я не знаю, я ебал их в рот. Там с тысячный нахуй процентов то, что человек не окажется конченым пидорасом, блядь. И то, что его мать нахуй не выебанная шлюха, блядь. Вот, блядь. Конченый пидорас, но вот только ему везения не хватило. Пиздец. Я пошел с экстратом. Я ебал, потому что у него тут все, сука, поспокойно. Да, сука, можешь, блядь, это взять, нахуй? Спасибо. Вон там, блядь, кого-то надо убить, ага. Я понял, я с тобой иду. Бля, пиздато было бы, если бы люди UAV привязали. Вот это было бы шикарно. Потому что сейчас без UAV. Ура, сюда нахуй. Сюда нахуй, сюда нахуй.
Safe zone has been redefined. Loadout airdrop incoming.
Enemy close by. I'm under attack. Enemy close by.
Ой, ебать, привет.
Loadout airdrop incoming.
Weapon here.
The safe zone is shifting. UAV support called in.
Take hits. Medic needed.
Down. Let's go here.
Medic needed! Head to the target! Enemy spotted! Head to the target! Medic needed! Medic needed!
Давай.
Medic needed!
Блять, ну долбоёбы, блин, чё, поебать настолько нахуй?
Taking fire!
The safe zone is shifting.
Блять.
The safe zone is refined.
Ну это такой пиздец, ну блять, сука, ёбаный ты хуй. Никто, блять, в нашей теме не может добить этих ёбаных безмамышей, блять. Это такой пиздец, нахуй, блять.
ТВ. Да?
Это такой пиздец просто, блять. Я убедился в том, что все персы, блять, пикающие вот эту вот эму нахуй. В смысле, все люди, пикающие вот эту вот эму, пидорасы конченые, и только десяток этих людей, если не одна зотная, не 0,001%, блять, типа, пытаются адекватно. Типа, вот ты пикаешь, и, блять, эму. Ты единственный, сука, пока что адекват, которого я видел в этой всей ебаной игре. Все с эмой, нахуй, конченые долбоебы. Остальные, блять. Это все, что, блядь, я хочу сказать. Просто это такой бред. Челик остается на таком милипиздрическом уровне здоровья и выживает.
Это имба, потому что я не могу играть, у меня FPS минус просто 0 нахуй.
Мне, кстати, ласкатка до этого, до мастера. Да. Типа, понимай человек адекватно, блядь.
Ебать, мне люди кидали... Пиздец, кого я не принял? Заповедь, вот он, блядь, нашел, блядь, 4-й в пачку.
Ура.
Ох, блядь, принял.
Ура.
Я
Привет.
надеюсь, он щитом и просто сейчас будет разносить пол-сервера.
С
Знаешь,
айфона играю, какие читы сюда, бля, музыку нельзя скачать.
не,
А, ну это да, это
почему
вообще
можно,
неправда.
почему можно.
Нихуя. На...
Я с Ютуба качаю. А потом через DLC.
Так у тебя
слушаю.
прошитый, скорее всего.
Нет, он не шитый. В чем прикол? Ты просто берешь, закидываешь ссылку с... У меня iPhone XR. Все, что нужно, это просто закинуть ссылку, типа вот, не знаю, с Ютуба в какой-нибудь сервер для скачивания видео и аудио с Ютуба. Все, скачиваешь оттуда аудио.
А эту-то хуйню я знаю. Нет, просто скачать как на андроиде нельзя, видишь. Вот, к примеру, APK файл с читом я вот никак не смогу скачать. И расшифровать его никак не смогу.
Кстати, бля, мне интересно то, как существуют вообще читы на ГД на айфоне. Челики, типа, например, ботплеями, типа, ботплеит, короче, на айфонах.
Да они вообще ебанутые,
Круто.
там какие-то...
Я знаю, слышишь, я знаю чувака, который выпустил чит на телефон, ебать. На андроиде можно скачать и ебашить так в бутстрайк, пиздец. Я видел, как чуваки с ним играют. Я вчера заебался их терпеть, этих читеров. Я не успеваю выходить, меня через стену простреливают, нахуй.
Получается, надо
Понял.
продавать свой 13-й, нахуй, покупать себе какой-нибудь андроид, нахуй, качать 4 дальше.
У меня 11-й, блядь.
Я думаю, тоже свой
Я XR въебал
продать.
с прошлого месяца.
Блин. Я думаю, свой тоже XR продать, потом еще продать свой Android телефон и купить себе какой-нибудь норм. Типа у меня какой-то там NVIDIA, блядь, я его за 18 тысяч брал. Ну, короче, неубиваемая хуйня, блядь. Считай Nokia в мире смартфонов. Ну вот, блин. Взял, попользовался, телефон понравился, но ни стендов, ни в Bullstrike нормально не поиграешь, все лагает, пиздец.
Слышишь, у тебя нет такой хуйни, то, что у тебя в середине катки начинает лагать просто из-за этого неба ебаного?
Не-а.
У меня фэпусы начинают падать конкретно. У меня вчера были просадки до 17. Вот это я охуел. Помогает только перезаход.
Пиздец.
А,
Ну это обнова ебаная.
Я не знаю, что за
Смотри.
хуйня. Это вот обнова, я
вот у
ее
тебя iPhone, да?
скачал.
Сейчас, погоди, у тебя iPhone, да?
Да. Смотри, я играл до этого, я игру не обновлял. Позавчера, получается, я скачал обновление на 3 с чем-то там гига, блядь, в Apple Store, блядь. И началась пизда, блядь. До этого падало, как, ну, блядь, как максимум-то до 47 падало, потом восстанавливалось. Теперь падает вообще до 9, я охуел. Так что лучше обнову не качайте. Разрабы хуйню сделали, блядь. Нахуй вообще меч, мне интересно, в королевскую добавили, типа, без зомби.
Он
Зачем?
смешной.
Смысл?
Он смешной.
Там чуваки, блядь, очкошники, вот эти ПКшеры ебаные. Ну, они все в основном попрыгунчики и очкошники. Убегают, потом стреляются, блядь. Они этот меч хватают, и когда убоебы бегают от тебя, монсят, потом мечом тебя хуярят.
Ой,
Ну,
бля, знаешь
Смысл
что?
понт.
Я точно таких же ПКшеров, я сам на ПК. Я точно таких же ПКшеров с легкостью контры с вектором. Я тебе могу даже билд дать вектора. Прям пиздатый вообще.
Ну, давай посмотрим.
Сейчас я в чат кину.
Давай, смотри, у меня вот такой вот вектор. Сейчас это скину. Лови.
Так, сейчас. Ага. А, понял. Хорошо, бля. Все, я понял. У меня даже хуже получился, пиздец.
Ну вот.
Ну, типа, я не
У
знаю.
меня вот такой вот.
Лично, в конце концов, в принципе, с пушкой вектор можно контрить таких.
Ебать, Меф, так у тебя хуже, чем у меня вектор, нахуй.
Я не знаю, я просто это взял все и нормально вроде более-менее играется.
Ну, я в России по вектору на 4-м месте.
Ахуй. Я в шоке. Я в
По
шоке.
Свердловской, по Тюменской, по Челябинской, по Московской и остальных областях я топ-1.
Охуеть. Я топ-2, наверное, сейчас.
А, нет, в Московской я не помню, какое я уже. Потому что там чел поднял себе.
Я топ-2 по республике Коми. Ты можешь чекнуть, если хочешь.
Я вообще не шарю, где это.
Короче, это республика в честь персонажа из аниме Коми не умеет разговаривать. Или у Коми проблемы с общением. Хуй знает, как это называется.
Ебать.
Вот целая республика в честь персонажа.
А кто у тебя там на этой республике топ-1?
Какой-то Дес. Я хуй знает, сейчас скину ему профиль. Либо ID, я хуй знает.
Ну, я не знаю, нахуй. А чё, по декатку-то запустите, не?
Ну я думаю, они, блядь, ждут нас нахуй, я жду пока они запустят закат. Ну все, пизда, опять сосать.
Ща, подожди. Ты снайперы ебаные.
Вот, типа ID челика, я хуй знает. Можно найти по ID.
Да я могу найти.
Ну вот.
Сейчас найду. Так, где там, блядь?
Бля,
Так,
пиздец,
бать
салат скис.
друзей.
Я вчера салат сделал, забыл его на столе, потому что выпил, блядь, соджу и уснул. Забыл на столе.
И он прокис.
Да. Мне его сейчас придется есть. Мне интересно вообще, что с курицей, блядь, творится. Она на столе уже 2 дня стоит, нахуй.
А там новая жизнь, скорее всего, появилась. Ты ее носи в лабораторию, пойди открытие сделаешь.
Похуй запускаем. С богом.
Угу.
Да сейчас эти пидорасы ПКшные, смотри, я отвечаю, которые в жопу любят долбиться, блядь. Они все начнут запускаться, типа,
Обижаешь.
что там произвысится, ебать, вся хуйня вот это. Такие животные, я их
Это так,
отъебал, нахуй.
смотри, ты не будешь попадаться с ПКшами, если не будешь играть в этот, блядь.
Пати. ПК.
Либо в пати с ПК,
Я
либо
знаю.
если не будешь играть в... забыл, блядь. Ох, сука, забыл слово.
Межплатформу.
Да-да-да. Бля, не. Курица чуть-чуть пахнет. По вкусу вроде
Слышишь?
нормально.
Это все хуйня, это все хуйня. Есть такие в натуре попуски и пидорки. Это
А,
вообще,
которые
это,
запускаются
не
с
знаю,
эмулятора.
Это вообще такое додуматься. А?
Запускается с эмулятора, да?
Да.
Пиздец.
Это в натуре такие, сука, опущенные люди. Я угораю с таких. Они же, блядь, слабые, пиздец.
Да, бля, это реально.
А потом
Запускать
они, знаешь,
эмулятора,
пальцы,
когда
они
есть,
пальцы
блядь,
эти
игра.
додики дискотечные, потом пальцы гнут, типа, довольно с телефона, да я такой крутой. Блядь, зайди с телефона, ебать, пошли 1 на 1, я посмотрю, какой ты нахуй крутой.
Я с телефона, кстати, вот как раз таки на этом вот аккаунте поднял себе этот мастера. Или легенду, какой там, блядь, нахуй выше. Ну, ты, короче, можешь мне профиль чекнуть полный, типа, вот. Лучшее звание за все время. Легенда. Вот.
Вот они,
Да.
пидорасы.
Enemy spotted!
The safe zone has been redefined.
Head to the target.
Enemy spotted. Down. Enemy spotted.
Enemy hit!
Enemy spotted. Good run, team.
Пиздец. Короче, нахуй эту хуйню, блядь. И я, пиздец, и дропаю эту ебаную хуйню. Я заебался против этого долбоеба играть, нахуй. У чела нету нихуя, блядь, просто. Никакой, нахуй, ебаный личный жизни. Все, блядь, в игре я проебал, нахуй. Я ливаю, блядь. Я ливаю, нахуй. Да, блядь. Пизда. Все, это пиздец, потому что, блядь, ебаный. Блядь. Сука, да какое воспроизведение? Блядь, мне заебала эта хуйня в ютубе. Воспроизведение остановлено. А мне что, блядь, типа продолжить? А что мне нахуй надо? Я почему ебаным ютубом пользуюсь, блядь? Чтобы смотреть, сука, ебаный, блядь, ютуб! Какое нахуй воспроизведение остановлено, блядь, заебали? Я, короче, смотреть за цепочкой, мне похуй. Ладно, блядь, не хочется проводить цепочку. Попробуй вернуться. Я только ради своего тима возвращаюсь нахуй. Потому что, блядь, этот, сука, таджик ебаный, хуйня безмамная, блядь! А, бля. Я уже никак не присоединюсь. Ну тогда пиздец нахуй эту игру, блядь. Что ж, поддержу челика, в общем. Поддерживаю челика. Вот. Заодно изменю, кстати, это описание на канале. Так, i5 12600H. А качество там у него... Походу, короче, цепочек стрим завершен, да. Вот. Ну, число зрителей 0. Это тебе полтек, блядь, я ведь нахуй никому не сдался. Вот вообще не понял. Ну что тогда получается? Что ж, давайте в общем. Давайте. Браузер взаимодействовать. Пока поставлю треки на паузу. Все. Захват окна сделаем. И будем смотреть вместе YouTube. Свойства. Захват звука.
Today I'm going to be doing something completely different from my normal videos. Usually on this channel I would play a horror game or a FNAF fan game, but today I'm going to be covering one of the most obscure Five Nights at Freddy's ARGs that I have come across. Why am I doing a video like this out of nowhere? Simple. I just wanted to try out something new and, you know, see how it goes. Now please do note that this is my first time doing a video like this, so don't expect me to be MatPat levels of mastery at theorizing or whatever. Now for those who don't know what an ARG is, well, it's basically a form of storytelling that involves people around the internet to solve it. ARGs most of the time are cryptic videos on social media like Twitter or YouTube, but in some cases can be in games or even movies at times. Some of the most commonly known ARGs are Local 58, Petscop, This House Has People in It, and well, a bunch more. So now that you have a basic idea of what an ARG is, let's dive right into what I think is the most from my normal videos. Usually on this channel I would horror game or a FNAF fan game, but
Сделаю потише.
obscure Five Nights at Freddy's ARG that I've ever seen. The ARG we're going to be covering is called Zachku37 Archive, a channel that was created on July 23rd, 2023 and uploaded its first video on November 5th, 2024. This channel supposedly re-uploads deleted videos of a channel called Zachku37, hence its name. Zachku37 is a channel with over 1 million subscribers that makes SFM Five Nights at Freddy's animations on YouTube. At first, the video Zachku37 Archive upload seems like your usual 2014 to 2015 SFM animations. However, there are some disturbing moments throughout these videos that are definitely out of place and feel uncanny for a channel like this. I'm going to be talking about every video that has been uploaded on this channel so far, and at the end I'm going to be theorizing on what might be going on in these videos. Also note that the videos Zachku37 Archive uploads are really low quality to give off the feel that these are really deleted videos that have been archived and re-uploaded to YouTube. But don't worry, because you can still tell what's going on in them. The first video this channel has uploaded is called It's My Birthday, Zachku37 Re-Upload, posted on November 5th of this year with a description of the video simply being FNAF. The video starts off with Zachku telling the viewers that it's his birthday and that he has turned 19 years old. He then says that for the occasion of his birthday he has made a special animation. Then the screen fades to black. Now, the viewer would think that once the screen has faded to black, the animation Zachku has made would appear, but instead, this happens.
Офигеть.
This creepy red version of Freddy appears and the audio completely cuts off. It's just the viewer, silence, and this strange entity that doesn't seem to have an official name. But while doing research for this video, I found out that some people call this version of Freddy Blood Bear. So that's what I'm gonna call him too. For 16 seconds straight, Blood Bear simply just stands there. The only thing moving are his eyes, as he slowly averts them to stare to what seems to be the viewer, before the video goes back to normal and the animation that Zachku made plays. Now, I highly doubt the original deleted video that Zachku made had this creepy red Freddy in it, which leads me to believe the obvious. Something is definitely wrong with these re-uploaded videos. Moving on, the video plays as normal. It's basically your run-of-the-mill, early 2015 Five Nights at Freddy's SFM animation, with music that I won't be playing due to me not wanting to risk getting copyrighted. The video starts to seem normal again, until around the 1 minute and 48 second mark, where Blood Bear makes his appearance again. Just like the first time, he simply just stares at the viewer, his eyes moving ever so slightly. He simply just stands there for a whole uncomfortable 1 minute and 14 seconds straight, before the video goes back to normal once again. From this point on, the video is completely normal and ends normally. Obviously, something is definitely wrong, however we can't know for sure unless we watch the rest of these videos. The second video on the channel is titled Zachku37 Deleted Video Bomb Surprise Re-Upload, posted on November 5th of this year, just like the first video. Unlike the first video, this video doesn't have a description. This is the shortest video on the channel so far, being only 56 seconds long. The premise of this video is that the whole gang is in the dining room, Bonnie and Chica are talking on stage, Freddy is sitting on one of the dining room tables seemingly bored, and Foxy is in Pirate's Cove, ready to give Freddy a present that has a bomb inside it. Throughout the video there are some strange images that flash, however, slowing the video down, we see that these images aren't really anything special, just the color black and an image
Такое низкое качество.
of Bonnie and Chica
вот такие вот низкокачественные видео.
talking but upside down. Foxy gives the present to Freddy with Freddy looking seemingly pleased. We then cut back to Bonnie and Chica, where we then hear an explosion. We expect the camera to cut back to Freddy in some sort of comedic position. However, we get a much more disturbing scene instead. The explosion definitely did its job, but the outcome is much more messy than we anticipated. Not only that, but as the video goes on, the quality gets slightly better, showing us a clearer image of the bloodied up Freddy, all while the background music plays like nothing's wrong. The video ends with a shot of Bonnie and Chica staring at each other. This confirms that something is obviously wrong with these re-uploaded videos. However, as we progress, we will see that things get much more disturbing. The third video on the channel is titled Zachku37 Q&A 3, posted on November 6th of this year. The description of this video, just like the first one, simply reads FNAF. In this video, nothing creepy really happens, but it's still really strange. The video follows Zachku, who is simply doing a Q&A and answering questions that his viewers have commented. The first question pops up, simply being, do you have a girlfriend? Which Zachku replies by looking down and shaking his head. The second question pops up, and it's the same. Do you have a girlfriend? Which Zachku once again does the same thing. Why was the same question answered twice? Was it a mess up in the editing of the video? Well, clearly not, because Zachku always which is once again the same. Zachku this time looks happy and gives the viewers a thumbs up. Not only that, but one thing I noticed is that when he responds to the last question, his 3D model looks different. He's missing the two pouches he had on his chest, and overall his model looks much more polished and brighter. This, although not creepy, is definitely strange. It's just the same question over and over, with Zachku giving the same answer, but in the end changing it. And why does his player model look different when he answers the final question? So far, I'm quite sure. Two past the last question, his 3D model, I noticed is that when he
Его 3D моделька реально стала лучше.
Sure, but we're gonna have to move on and we can try to make sense of this. The fourth video on the channel is titled Zachku37 New Night Guard 1 FNAF SFM Re-Upload, posted on November 17th of this year, with the description reading Zachku37 New Night Guard 1, it is deleted video Zachku. Great English. From this point on, the videos on this channel become much more creepy and strange. This video introduces some new characters, like Golden Freddy, the puppet, a fixed up Mangle, and a couple more. In the video, the animatronics are just hanging around. Golden Freddy, however, checks the time and sees it's almost 6 AM, which makes him go towards the office to jump scare the night guard. However, once Golden Freddy jump scares him, 6 AM strikes just in time. The night guard then leaves angrily and quits. The next night, a new night guard comes in the restaurant and heads to the security office. This new night guard is also equipped with a shotgun. Then we cut to Foxy and Mangle, who seem to have a romantic I know it's weird as all hell can be, but trust me, this was the most normal thing back in 2015, bro. Mangle then gets up, deciding to go jump scare the night guard. When she runs towards the office and reaches the office door, she lets out a jump scare sound, but then stops completely. The audio also cuts off. The viewer would expect that the camera would cut back to the new night guard pointing the shotgun at Mangle. However, we get this instead. Checks the time and sees it's almost 6 AM, which makes him go towards the office.
Right. Окей, это крипово.
Bloodbear, standing still at the corner of the office, staring at Mangle with a creepy wide mouth, while loud cries and screams can be heard accompanied by a creepy music box. The video ends with one final shot of Mangle who is simply staring at Bloodbear. This is definitely the creepiest video on the channel so far, but trust me, it gets way worse as we progress. When she runs towards The fifth video on this channel is titled Zachku37 Season 1 Thief FNAF Re-Upload, posted on November 19 of this year, with a description reading Zachku37 Episode Thief from Season 1 FNAF Zachku 2015. Like and subscribe for more Zachku37 deleted videos. Although not as creepy as the fourth video, there's definitely a really weird moment in this one. The video follows Chica, who places a pizza in the dining room to eat, however walks off to use the bathroom. Toy Freddy then comes in, stealing the pizza and leaving the scene. Chica comes back after using the bathroom only to see that her pizza is missing. Chica then gets a different pizza and places it down on the dining room table, but stops and draws her attention to Freddy, who is waving at her, giving Toy Freddy the perfect opportunity to steal the pizza behind her back and walk off. Chica, now angry, heads to the office to steal the night guard's camera to see who has been stealing her pizza, only for this to happen. Chica's face deforms, and she seems to be talking to the viewer.
If you're liking the video so far, then like it and put a comment on the video. And always remember that God loves you. Thank you.
The video then goes back to normal, with Chica finding out Toy Freddy was the one that was eating her pizza and getting revenge. Like I said, although not as creepy as the last video, it's still really strange and ominous. Let's move on to the next video. The sixth video on this channel is titled November 25th Lost Descriptions, man. Now this video I'm just gonna skip entirely because absolutely nothing happens. The only weird thing that happens in this video is that the audio cuts off for a second around the 1 minute mark. But other than that, everything else seems normal. But other than... what the actual fuck? The seventh video on upload. Free. This video is the popular up to him to the video. The audio cuts off and this happens. Bloodbear seemingly replaces Freddy and starts letting out distorted screaming. Then the camera cuts back to Chica, who has also become bloodied up and deformed, letting out distorted screaming just like Freddy. This goes on for a whole 36 seconds, with Chica's face at one point turning into one that resembles a baby. For some reason. The video then goes back to normal like nothing happened and goes on as such. Although creepy, this video adds more questions than answers. At first we thought that Bloodbear was the only creepy entity in these videos. However, it seems we are proven wrong by the fact that Chica also gets a creepy version of herself. Is this a new entity entirely? We'll just have to see. The eighth video on this channel is titled Bonnie X Toy Chica Re-Upload, posted on December 1st of this year, with the description simply reading, I don't like this ship. Oh, I'm
Я встал. Сейчас...
Then the camera cuts back to Chica, who has also become bloodied up and deformed, letting out distorted screaming just like Freddy. This goes on for a whole 36 seconds, with Chica's face at one point turning into one that resembles a baby.
Сейчас, прошу прощения, позвонила бабушка поинтересоваться по поводу того, готов я к тому, чтобы как бы пойти на учебу или нет. Так что вот. можем продолжать.
Cringing my ass off just remembering stuff like this being uploaded back in 2015. Ugh. The video starts off with some of the animatronics inside the storage room discussing a plan on how to catch the night guard. At the first 23 seconds of the video, where Toy Bonnie is on his phone, some white text pops up. And I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue what this text says. I have tried to figure out what it says, but the video is too low quality for me to make any sense of it. My only hope of ever knowing what this text reads is if one of you guys manages to figure it out and put it in the comments, only for this to happen. Out and put it in the comments, which I would really appreciate. Anyways, the video goes on as normal, the animatronics discussing how to get to the night guard. Then, classic cringe ship stuff ensues, and at one point during the video, Bonnie and Toy Chica wind up in the bathroom, only for this to happen.
Офигеть, ладно. Это было реально крипово. Что с первого раза, что сейчас?
We see Bloodbear inside one of the bathrooms, letting out distorted, heavy breathing. The walls of the bathroom are covered in blood and what appears to be two bodies on the floor. The video then goes back to normal, with Bonnie and Toy Chica seemingly not even acknowledging what they saw. Once again, this adds more questions than answers. What I'm most curious about is the two bodies. Are they of any significance in the story, or are they just there for the creep factor? Not only that, but time and time again, these characters never seem to acknowledge Bloodbear. Or maybe they just can't see him in the first place like us viewers do. The 9th video of this channel is titled SFM FNAF The Return Zachku 37 Reupload Deleted Video. Posted on this like us viewers do. Here just on to the FNAF 2 video. The 9th video of this channel is titled SFM FNAF The Return Zachku 37 Reupload Deleted Video. Posted on December 12th of this year, just like the last video. However, this one doesn't have a description. The video starts off with the toy animatronics in the FNAF 2 location, hanging around in the dining room. Then the video cuts to the puppet and Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy seems to want to fight between the withered animatronics and the toy animatronics, which the puppet doesn't want but Golden Freddy insists upon. Golden Freddy then goes to the parts and service room and brings the withered animatronics to life, where they then go to the night guard and presumably kill off screen. This alerts the toy animatronics, which makes them go to the hallway, only to see the withered animatronics there ready to fight. However, just as they're about to fight each other, the puppet appears, using what seems to be some telekinetic powers to push both groups away. However, when we get a shot of both the toy and withered animatronics, both groups have become a bloody mess, and for some reason, Spring Bonnie is there too. I really don't know why. This video felt a lot like the second video of the channel, just with a longer build up to it. However, once again, this really doesn't explain anything. The 10th video on the channel is titled SFM FNAF Foxy Foxy Zachku, posted on December 3rd of this year with a description reading, by Zachku37, thank you for watching. The plot follows Foxy, Mangle, and Freddy, whose goal in this video is to get to the night guard, but failing a bunch of times. Although this video looks normal, there are some strange cuts of this new character.
Whoa, that's a pretty big box right there, Freddy. Need some help?
Commentating on the video with an AI voice like a reaction YouTuber. At one point, this character says his name.
Looks like they finally caught the night guard. Hello, I am Ron the Angel Gamer, okay?
He says his name is Ron the Angel Gamer. I searched up the name on YouTube, social media, and even tried to look for it in the main Zachku37 channel, but couldn't find any person with a social media account by the name Ron the Angel Gamer. Editing PK here. I am a dumbass. While I was making this video, I did not notice the blurry text while Ron the Angel Gamer was saying his name. Turns out his name is not Ron the Angel Gamer, it's Ryan the Angel Gamer. And I searched up the name again, and turns out there is a YouTube channel with the name being Ryan the Angel Gamer. Oh, I am such an idiot. However, this channel so far doesn't have any videos on it, so not that important. Moving on, the video plays out as normal, with Ron making an appearance in Pirate's Cove, but it's more like a PNG image of him. At one point, we also get a split-second flash of this creepy face, which I'm assuming is also Ron. Anyways, the video goes on as normal and ends with Ron telling the viewer goodbye.
Okay, I hope you liked the video, goodbye.
Now, Who the hell is Ron? Completely out of left field, we get introduced to this new guy who has absolutely no background. Is this a person trapped in these videos? Probably not, but it's still weird. The 11th video on the channel is titled Lost Cupcake 2 Zachku 37 Re-Upload, posted on December 6th of this year with a description reading FNAF SFM Re-Uploaded. And so far, it's the last video this channel has uploaded. The video is a continuation of the 6th video we talked about, except in this one, something actually happens. The plot follows Toichika, who is searching for her lost cupcake. Shocker, right? Anyways, at one point during the 2-minute and
Так, погодите, что происходит? У меня
20-second mark. This one description reading FNAF SFM Re-Up, continuation of the 6th video we talked about, except in this one, something actually happens. The plot follows Toichika, who is searching for her lost cupcake. Shocker, right? Anyways, at one point during the 2-minute and 20-second mark, this happens. Also, volume warning ahead, because this is pretty loud.
Точно я сделал потише.
Both Chica's and Toichika's faces deform, with Toichika opening her mouth in a creepy way right before everything goes back to normal. The video ends with Bonnie finding Toichika's cupcake and giving it back to her. Well, that were all the videos on Zachku 37 archive so far, and I'm gonna be talking about a couple of theories I have, going from the most likely theories to be true to the least likely. So, let's begin. The first theory I have, which is the most likely, however the most anticlimactic, is that either this is a post, or it just exists for the sake of being creepy, and there's no real story to it. Sometimes people create ARGs just because. They add a couple of creepy things, but no real story. It just exists to be creepy. Like I said, it's anticlimactic, I know, but it makes the most sense. However, that doesn't mean I can't be wrong. There is still a possibility there is a story here, which brings me to my second theory. My second theory is that these videos are haunted, and haunted no less by the two corpses we saw in the Bonnie X Toichika video. I also have a theory about who the two corpses are. In the SFM FNAF The Return Zachku 37 Re-Upload Deleted video, we see this Spring Bonnie thing for a moment. But it's not really Spring Bonnie because he has a top hat, I think. And in the FNAF Foxy Zachku video, we also get introduced to Ryan. In my opinion, Ryan and this Spring Bonnie with a top hat are the two corpses that we saw in the Toichika X Bonnie video. The two could have been fans of Zachku, however something happened which caused them to get killed and haunt his deleted videos. Although it does seem like a big stretch, it's the only thing that can come to my mind that makes sense. And my final theory about these videos is that these videos really are archived videos of Zachku. However, while in the process of archiving them and re-uploading them, something got corrupted and manifested inside the videos. It's like in Help Wanted, where William Afton's consciousness got programmed inside Help Wanted. I still can't believe that's actually part of the FNAF lore.
Okay.
Hey, did you get the thing I need for the video? What?
Analog horror is a very polarizing genre. The concept of it is interesting, and it can lead to great pieces of work, but most of the time it tends to be not very good. Occasionally there is something there that's worth watching, but most if not all the big name series you see people talking about are just bad. If people like it, that's great. I'm glad you can like something I otherwise don't, but I'm just not a big fan of it for one reason or another. Occasionally there is something that comes out that I want to talk about, that I want to engage with. And wouldn't you know it? It's that time again. Fazbear Toddler Fun is an internet horror series created by the user Agent P-Man1. The description of the series states the following. Fazbear Toddler Fun was one of the 2 scrapped edutainment games made for Fazbear Entertainment back in 1997, as a desperate attempt to bring Freddy Fazbear's Pizza back into relevance. It was thought to be lost media for the longest time until 2005, when an anonymous user recorded a handful of gameplay footage of one of the CD-ROMs. Except, the sentence trails off. These recordings hold something that should not be viewed by the public eye. So we're gonna do just that. Not counting the original upload, which is now unlisted and not canon, the series released its first batch of episodes in 2020 and 2021. Fazbear Toddler Fun Extended Section, and Toddler Fun Safety First Film. Before we continue on with the rest of this topic, I'd like to thank the sponsor for this video.
Spread the word. Papo's coming to town.
What?
Now introducing the Papo Plush. Don't you want a little fella of your own, one that abides by your own very whims with no will of its own? For around 28 USD, you yourself can have the legal ownership of a Papo. Do whatever you want with it. Cook with it. Burn it. Cook with it. You see what I did there? Kill it, drown it, smoke with it, let it dry, let it edit for you. Put it in a bowl, wide mouth, 32-ounce quart mason jar, lid and pan. I don't care. Do what you want. You have the legal right to do so. If you want a little fella inside your home, go to www.onage.com and buy one today. That's www.ownaj.com. But be quick. If we can't sell enough of them, they will be brought to a landfill and killed one by one so they have room to panic and figure out a way to escape. One that does not exist. We are severely fucked up, but we do it anyways. That's the motto here at Pappa Schmappis LLC. Buy the Pappo Plush. Buy the Pappo Plush. Buy the Pappo Plush. Buy the plush. Buy the plush. Buy it.
Bye-bye.
Fazbear Toddler Fun opens up with text on a blue background, a staple of Windows Movie Maker, a now discontinued editing software from the early 2000s. Considering this takes place back in 2005, Movie Maker being the editing software of choice is a nice touch. Said text on screen is our only source of exposition for what's going on. Sorry for not responding to you earlier, but here's my recording for the Fazbear game you recommended to me. Please respond to me as soon as you get this video. I need to know what this is. Whoever is playing this game is doing so for a friend, or because of a friend. Either way, they're here now. As the text fades, the real recording starts. A red splash screen for Fazbear Entertainment appears on screen, copyrighted 1988. Despite how ominous this logo looks, it doesn't seem threatening. It's Jingo feeling welcoming and friendly. As soon as it appears, it leaves and is replaced with a loading screen. Before that too disappears. The next screen appears blank with a muted background. Text in the top left reading, "For Joseph." A player comes back with another message, calling this page Henry's message. Before we can see what that message is, the footage is edited to fade to black, before popping back up at the title screen. For the time being, we don't get to know what that message was, or for that matter, who Joseph was. Here, we learn the actual title of the game. Fazbear's Toddler Fun, The Missing Cake Chase. It's not too long before a player comes back again. I remember playing this for my dad, only a few times. Don't remember much else except that I did some recording for it and tested some stuff too. Our player seems to have more history with this game than they let on. The main menu holds 4 different choices: Play, Games, Movies, and Special. With the special button's text being a different color, I'd assume it's inaccessible for the time being. Our recorder selects Play, and the first part of the game starts. Once more, the player writes a message for their friend. Again, I didn't get to play much of this game, but I'll try to see if I can find what you said was here. Now we have a motive. The player was asked by his friend to play this game in an attempt to find something he thinks is inside the game. He must have known the player has history with Fazbear Entertainment. That, or it's a coincidence he knew at all. As the text fades, our first character shows up, that being Freddy.
Hey there. Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where fantasy and fun come to life. But first, it looks like you're gonna need 2 tickets to enter.
The player's first goal is to get 2 tickets to enter Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. In order to get said tickets, he has to play 2 different games to his right and left, each one involving a different character. He remembers Balloon Boy's game, but not Bonnie's. So, he chooses what he's familiar with, that being the ball pit.
Hey you! Yeah, you! I heard you needed a ticket. I could help you with that. That is, if you know your colors. Match the colors of the balls, and I'll give you 1 ticket.
Following Balloon Boy's instructions, the player participates in the game.
Could you help me find the green ball for me, please? Wow! You're smart. Could you help me find the blue ball for me, please?
Until it starts to malfunction. According to the text, the game starts to get buggy after this. I know this game is unfinished, so that's to be expected, but it gets stranger than that. And right on cue, the seams start showing.
Could you help me with that? That is, if you know your colors. Match the colors of the balls, and I'll give you 1 ticket.
Я сделаю тише, пожалуй.
Balloon Boy's audio cuts off, turning his line from "Can you help me find this colored ball?" to "You help me." Obviously, this could just be an auditory error, but with the next scene, I'm inclined to believe it means something more. Balloon Boy starts crying, his tears being more of a purple color than what is to be expected. Again, this could be nothing more than an error, but there's still room to question. Despite the very apparent glitches, the game still rewards our player with a ticket. With nothing else left to do, he heads over to the other minigame, Bonnie's minigame, marked by balloons. Like before, the background changes, this time to an open field, one reminiscent of the Windows XP background, who call it Green Hills, or as it's more well known, Bliss, a photograph taken by photographer Charles O'Rear. This next minigame works relatively the same as Balloon Boy's, working around a kid's ability to recognize colors. Instead of balls, it's the colored animal parade. As Bonnie says,
Hey, didn't you hear? The colored animal parade's coming to town. I heard if you guessed their colors 3 times, you could get a ticket. Well, howdy! I better think fast, here they come. Oh man, the parade's here and I can't find any of my favorite animals. Could you help me find the purple elephant?
Our player follows Bonnie's instructions, clicking on a purple elephant.
Wow, that elephant's gotta be, 1, 2, 3 school buses long. Could you help me find yellow bear?
As he tries to click on the next animal, the game starts to malfunction again. As the cursor glitches out, all of the animals disappear, replaced by a lone black fox standing at the other end of the field. The game freaks out and sends our player back to the main menu. Except, something is wrong. Freddy's face is slightly off model, his smile and pupils being larger than before. What was once a friendly face is now starting to look more threatening. And the text, instead of the name of the game, the missing cake chase being present, all other words are gone. Besides one. Missing. In an attempt to get back on track, our player tries playing the game once again. But instead of, well, anything you'd see in a kid's game, we're left with this.
Do you recognize me? I never left. I saw everything he did because of you. You hurt them. And you're here now. I can show you nice things. All yours. All of it's yours.
Something is blacked out on screen. Something that I can only assume is supposed to be the missing kids. Whoever is speaking to the player is blaming him for whatever the killer did. What William Afton did. During the flashing lights section, a face is barely visible in the black box. As of now, it's hard to say who this is supposed to be, but for the sake of this story, this face is the spirit currently possessing the game. As the screen cuts to black, a face appears on screen. Bonnie's. He stares at the camera for a few moments before fading back into the dark. And the video comes to an end. With the end of the video comes a few questions. First off, who is Joseph? The player doesn't say this message was for me or something similar. He specifically calls it Henry's message. This game, or copy of the game, was made for someone named Joseph. But there's no way to know who this person is yet, so let's put a pin in this for later. The other major question, who is the spirit possessing the game? It's someone the player knows or has a connection with. Someone who is related to the color purple, and someone who went missing, if the messed up text on the main menu is anything they go off of. I immediately want to pin this spirit as the FNAF 4 bite victim, but for all I know, this could be any random child or person for that matter. Episode 1 is a good first part, but it's too short to really gather any major plot beats or story details, only being about 6.5 minutes long. We know why the game is being played, we know what the game is supposed to be, and we know that,
Прикол в том, что
despite
просто
a
у тебя
cutesy
есть время
appearance,
6 часов на то, чтобы подготовиться к
not
биологии.
everything is
Например,
what it
вообще никогда
seems.
не учил по ней.
Hopefully some of our questions can be answered in the next
Короче,
video.
я вообще на ФРГ на стриме смотрю.
Bye-bye.
Extended section starts with the last video left off, with a new message from our player.
Lance, email me as soon as you get this. Please.
We may not know the name of the player, but we know the name of our player's friend. Lance. With both tickets collected, we're now able to see what's inside the pizzeria. Past another loading screen, we have another meeting with Freddy.
Hey, you made it. Great job. I knew you could do it. The gang and I are about to perform our show in an hour. So why don't you get some pizza and play some games while you're...
And just like before,
Oh hey, I think I see Foxy coming this way right now.
the game breaks. The 2 times Foxy has been on screen, he is messed up in some way, either being a black outline or beheaded. It makes me think of the minigames from Five Nights at Freddy's 4, with the Foxy plush in the bite victim's bedroom missing a head. I like to believe this holds some importance, but we need more information before we start to make any claims. Once the game is done freaking out, things go back to normal. Like before, the player is met with 3 different options. Each one needs to be beaten before the game can continue. The player decides to go from left to right, starting with Chica's garden. And as this game is selected, any sense of safety is thrown out the window. some way, either being a black outline or beheaded. It makes me think of the minigames from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. The footage cuts back to the pizzeria, with another new message from our player. I had to cut out Chica's game. I'd rather not discuss why. It's too personal. Alright. What's going on? For the sake of this video, I need to break your immersion for a second. Based on what the series will show us later on, I believe, for the most part, each one of these videos are from the perspective of a different person. The description from earlier did say these recordings came from one person, but that's just the recordings themselves, not the people actively recording said footage. Fazbear Toddler Fun is a story revolving around the different masked bullies from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. The person mentioned previously, Lance, was the bully who wore a Bonnie mask. He played the game before the person recording these first two videos, and is seemingly out of the picture. He is not responding to emails, and what seems to be an apparition or a metaphor for his passing shows up in the form of a distorted Bonnie face in episode 1. The person playing the game now is the Chica bully. That's why Chica's garden was too personal to show. It's something that relates specifically to our player, the one that has a connection to the yellow bird. This will come into play later. Let's get back to the actual video. The player gets past the next minigame, Funtime's Makeup Kingdom, and instead selects another one, Space Adventure. Our player enters the next game, starting a conversation with both Chica and Bonnie. Except, I'm going to be skipping this specific minigame, as nothing of note really happens. There's a scare, but it doesn't really impact the story in any real way. So for the sake of pacing, it will be glossed over. Once the player does complete the minigame, they don't get the item needed in order to proceed. Instead, they get another ticket. How odd. Our player selects the carousel, which is labeled as Vaudeville Spin. Now, I'm not entirely sure why it's called a vaudeville. For what I've seen, a vaudeville is a type of theater, a farce with music, but that doesn't make much sense given the context. Regardless, it doesn't matter much. Entering the minigame, the scenery changes, becoming a much grainier image of a carousel, much more lifelike than anything we've seen before. It puts me on edge. Spinning the carousel, it lands on Chica, showing a plush on screen. Our player seems to not remember this game, as text reading, "Why is this game here?" shows up on screen right after the first spin. They're prompted to spin it again, which they do. And again, it lands on Chica. This time, they're rewarded with a ticket. The screen goes black, and we're brought to the pizzeria once more. One last minigame appears, titled Gift Surprise. Text shows up on screen again, reading,
"This next game looked unfinished and had a different GUI. It still acted really strange though."
Once again, the player is prompted with 3 choices: circle, square, and triangle. I can only assume this game was meant to target a kid's ability to recognize shapes. The player chooses the circle, leading to this. They're prompted to spin it again, which they do. And again, it lands on Chica.
It's only us.
They're rewarded with a ticket. As the player is kicked back to the pizzeria, more text shows up.
"Lance, please respond to my email soon. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I'm starting to believe something is really wrong with this game. It's not just the game itself either. I'll tell you more in your email. Please talk."
Heading into the final minigame, a set of 2 colors show up. Purple, and then yellow, the same colors as one specific bear. As these colors are picked, the game finally snaps.
No, 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 no!
chooses a circle, leading to
Joseph and the Big Scare. Written by illustrated by Long ago in a blue house lived a small little bear. A bear named Joseph was the bear that lived there. He was friendly and kind, and he had no care. But one thing was certain. He was easy to scare. On his way to school, he would meet a bully named Mitch. Mitch was very, very rude, and he was one heck of a hitch. He would jump out the trees and scare Joseph as a trick. It scared him so bad he ran off into the woods, and quick. Poor Joseph ran and ran. He ran as fast as he could. He was too afraid to look behind, as all small bears should. He wondered if he had outran Mitch, that is, if he even could. But until then, he hid behind a stump that was in the middle of the woods. In the quiet, quiet woods, a nearby sound. You found me, like you always do. But I know it's okay to be afraid. Do you want to remember what I'm afraid of? Let's look together.
With this video, we learn who the spirit inside this game is. It's Joseph. It's the bite victim. The imagery of Foxy without its head, cobbled together with the game cracking under itself at the sheer sight of purple and yellow being mixed together, leaves very little room to question who this kid is. These two videos mark the end of the Chica Bullies recordings. Past this point, they're not around anymore. If we've gone through two people already, if Joseph is directly targeting the bullies that previously caused his demise, that means we only have two more left to go.
Bye-bye.
With the introduction of a new player, means a new playthrough. If there is any doubt in your mind that this is a new person, the number of tickets this person has is 1 digit off from the previous recording. Instead of getting a gift surprise, this player decided to go to Funtide's minigame and found a way to proceed. And right on time, Freddy comes back.
Hey, you found the instruments. Looks like Funtime had all three of them all along. Now our show can begin. All we need now is a birthday cake for our special birthday buddy.
Not so fast, you honey-sucking hooligan! Looks like me sister Funtime wasn't the best choice for the hiding job. No matter. I still have one last piece of this mighty scavenger hunt that'll keep you running on your toes all day. Heard you had cake planned for the birthday buddy.
The number of tickets this person has
Hey everybody, PK here. Today I'm gonna be doing something.
Oh no.
Hey, did you get the, thing I need for the, video?
Так, вот на этом мы остановились.
Not anymore! Yah-ha-ha! If you want it back, you better find me at the Pirate Cove and head to the long-lost Adventure Bay. This adventure isn't over just yet. Yah-ha!
Just like before, Foxy's head is cut off. Instead of proceeding on with the rest of the game, the player decides to do something unexpected. He stops playing the game, heads to the main menu, and clicks on Movies instead. For the first time, we're seeing something other than the main game. Fazbear Toddler Fun comes with 2 different movies, Fredbear Archives and Safety First. As the title of the video says, he decides to watch Safety First. Except, it's currently unavailable. What seems to be a roadblock lasts not longer than a second before the game acts on its own and brute forces itself into the menu of the film, as our player states in their text. Once the menu loads, it lands on a video titled Stranger Danger, the description of which states the following.
Things start to take a strange turn at the park when the kids meet an unusual man who offers them a trip to a place where they can have endless amounts of fun at no price. Barry and Lily decide to give the stranger the benefit of the doubt, but they soon find themselves in a bad spot, and it's up to their friends Simon, Alice, and Tom to save them.
With this description comes another, this time about Safety First as a whole.
Safety First is a collection of short animated films produced by Funny Flicks for Fazbear Entertainment. Following the adventures of Barry, Simon, Lily, Alice, and Tom, Safety First teaches kids about being careful with their surroundings, and how to follow the basic rules of safety with their peers, and most importantly, themselves. The first short, Stranger Danger, was published in August of 1987. What started out as a singular short film grew popular enough to gain 19 more episodes. 6 of those episodes have been recovered and archived here on Fazbear's Toddler Fun, so that children can continue to learn how to keep themselves out of harm's way.
Considering this is a series that takes place in the world of Five Nights at Freddy's, 1987 being listed as a release date is throwing me off. Past a history lesson, the player or the game itself opens up another section, detailing information about the different characters in these shorts. Barry, Simon, Lily, Alice. But before we're shown the last character, a Foxy plush appears on screen. Past that, the final character appears, that being Tom. The image of Foxy seems to be gone. In disbelief, the player flits back and forth between Alice and Tom before leaving the menu. After the exposition finally comes to a halt, the film, Stranger Danger, starts. The player prompts his friend to,
"Please just watch."
So we do just that.
The film you're about to watch reflects upon real-world issues that were in need of warning at its time. The following film contains various implications of child...
Obviously, I'm not going to show you the whole video. That wouldn't do much besides make this video act like a replacement for the original series, which I'm not for. The rest of episode 3 is this film, which itself feels like an homage to Scott Cawthon's old animations. The clay-like models, stiff yet somehow fluid movement, the colors, it works for what it's trying to do. And I think that's pretty cool. Coming up, there are sections we're going to have to let the footage speak for itself, but I highly suggest you check it out for yourself first before you continue watching this video. Agent P-Man deserves your eyes more than I do. Now, with that out of the way, we have a video to watch. The film starts with the kids talking amongst themselves after a long day at school. After discussing the school day and their teacher's constant homework assignments, Barry brings forth a question to the other kids. That question being, what are they going to do with the rest of the day? As they discuss plans, a stranger shows up.
We still need to think of something to do.
Hello, kids. I heard you need something to pass the time.
I find it fascinating how this video is able to make something as simple as a PSA scary. It hasn't even started, I'm already anxious for what's to come. The way the ambiance cuts out as soon as the stranger speaks, his different mic quality making his mere presence feel out of place is wonderfully done. I'm scared of this guy and he hasn't even said more than a sentence. Almost as if he was waiting for this exact moment, the stranger tells the kids something that seems to fit their exact needs.
Oh, hello, stranger. We didn't see you there.
You know, there is a place where children come to have endless amounts of fun. There are games to play, food to eat, and no rules. I can take you there. Wouldn't that be nice?
Unfortunately for him, The kids know better. Or at least, most of them do.
Hey, what's the big deal? This sounds like it'd be fun. You agree, right, Lily?
I don't know. I mean, we don't even know this man, Barry.
My parents told me that you need to be careful with people you don't know. We don't know who they are or where they're from, and you can never be too sure about what they want from you.
Well, he's an adult, so he's kind of like a parent. He introduced himself to us, so we know who he is. He told us to meet him behind the school, so he could be from there. And he just told us he's gonna take us somewhere where there's food, games, fun, and...
Excuse me, what's the wait?
Most of the kids are obviously scared of the stranger and don't want anything to do with him. There's no telling what he'll do to them, and it's not worth risking their lives for fun and games. Barry, however, is an extremely trusting person, which may lead to unforeseen consequences later down the line.
Yeah, we're in.
Barry!
Great choice. Meet me behind the school tonight, and don't tell your parents where you're going. They'd hate to know how much candy you'll be eating.
The scene cuts to later that night, with Barry watching TV while waiting for his friends to arrive, which they soon do.
Hey, you guys made it. Ready to go?
Unfortunately, yeah.
I can't believe I'm sneaking away from my parents like this. They're gonna be worried sick.
If I were them, I'd be the happiest I've ever been in 13 years.
This just doesn't feel right. Something's off about this.
I'd rather go back to having parties at school than being involved with whatever this is. And I hate school.
Let's just give it a try, okay? Maybe if we don't have fun, we could just go home.
I guess so, man.
Maybe we can keep our cell phones with us just in case something happens?
And I know from experience when I tell you all, do not eat the green sandwiches.
We'll remember to be careful. Now come on.
Which they soon do.
Hey, you guys made it. Ready to go?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Небо, еще.
Right after that scene, text appears in the top right of the screen. It's cut off halfway, so it's hard to really tell what it's supposed to be, but based on what this video is going to represent, I'm inclined to believe it says, "Your new home." But I could be wrong. The kids arrive behind the school, where an alley awaits them. To their surprise, no one else is there. They must be early. They assume the man is waiting inside for them, so the kids decide who is going to go in first. And as they do...
So, ready for the best night ever?
I can't do this.
Oh, thank goodness you agree with me.
I think I'm gonna stay out of this one too.
What? But what about...
I'm sorry, Barry. I'm too scared to do this. It's dangerous.
Well, you'll still go with me, right, Louie?
But I could be wrong.
You can't be serious. You're gonna get hurt.
I know you guys are better than this. I think I can speak for the majority when I say I don't want to get caught up in this mess. We're leaving.
Don't say we didn't warn you.
Don't listen to them, Lily. Can't be as bad as they think.
The kids with common sense flee the scene, leaving Barry and Lily as the only two willing to head inside. Despite everything around the two warning them not to listen to a stranger they've never met, they proceed.
Huh. I guess we're a little bit earlier than everyone else. Say, you don't think I pressured them too much, do you, Lily? I hope not. I just wanted to have a good time with them, but they ignored the man's offer. Sure, he was acting a little weird, and maybe his promise was a bit misleading.
Barry?
But he can't have been that bad, right?
Barry!
I mean, he didn't seem so bad to me, and I am a pretty trusting kid. Ah! Well, I can't answer you now, Louie. I lost my hearing. Stranger! Forget everything I said. So, where's the party?
Kids really aren't that smart, are they?
Huh?
There is no party, you idiots. But either way, you're not going anywhere. Shame I couldn't get the rest of those brats to come, but you two will do perfectly.
What's going on? What are you gonna do with us?
That's something you're gonna have to find out. Now don't you kids even think about trying to get out. You're gonna regret it if you do.
Louie, our friends were right. This was a trick. What are we gonna do? Wait.
Back room during the late hours. Two local children were reportedly lured into a back room during the late hours of operation at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza on the night of June 26. While video surveillance identified the man responsible and led to his capture the following morning, the children themselves were never found and are presumed dead. Police think that the suspect dressed as a mascot to earn the children.
Safety First was made in response to the missing children's incident from 1985, 2 years before this short was made. What started out as a tragedy that would never be solved turned into a kid's PSA for stranger danger. An event that took the lives of 2 innocent children was turned into a cartoon. Even in death, Fazbear Entertainment continues to use murder to fuel their pockets, instead of dealing with the problem head on. As the PSA seemingly comes to an end, Joseph starts taking more drastic measures, warping its surroundings, so as to talk to the player more directly.
We've been watching you for a long time, Michael. We saw so much.
Safety First was made in response to the missing children's...
I could have done something, but I was scared. I didn't want to be trapped too.
As the PSA seemingly comes to an end,
Or you,
drastic measures, warping its surroundings, so as to talk to the...
I did nothing. I let them die. That's why I'm here. Or you, Michael. You took my life away. You ruined our family. And I won't stop reminding you until you truly understand.
It's not letting me stop.
We moved on from the Bonnie bully, to the Chica bully, and now, finally, Michael. Instead of playing the game on his own volition, the game is controlling itself, showing more animosity towards Michael than the other two, as he is the reason the bite victim died, and in his eyes, Michael is the reason their father, William Afton, started killing, which was the purpose of this video. Joseph wanted to show Michael exactly what his actions cost, using the PSA as visuals for his message. Now that Michael knows what his actions caused, Joseph will not rest until he finishes the game. And for the last 3 years, this screen, this image, this was it. Since 2021, these 3 videos were all Fazbear Toddler Fun had to offer. And if that was still the case, I would be fine. The original video served as a good stepping stone for the series. An extended section in Safety First Film only improved on the quality it already had. But, in August of this year, a new video was made, labeled as Untitled Video, a 49-minute finale to Fazbear Toddler Fun, one with the most content, the most production value, and some of the best horror I've seen in an analog horror piece to date. I've already said this previously, but I highly recommend and encourage you to watch this beforehand, and then come back to this video. It is a wonderfully made video and series. You have 5 seconds. For those of you returning, or for those of you who've already seen it, let us finally finish Fazbear Toddler Fun.
Окей, я отойду. Это все здорово, это все весело, но я отойду.
Untitled Video, a 49-minute finale to Fazbear Toddler Fun, one with the most content, the most production value, and some of the best horror I've seen in an analog horror piece to date. I've already said this previously, but I highly recommend and encourage you to watch this beforehand, and then come back to this video. It is a wonderfully made video and series. You have 5 seconds. For those of you returning, or for those of you who've already seen it, let us finally finish Fazbear Toddler Fun.
Окей, я отойду. Это все здорово, все весело, но я отойду. Так. Если вы что-то слышали, то это просто мысли о создании своего собственного тоже РГ. Я бывает так, мысли вслух иногда произношу.
The start of Untitled Video is very reminiscent to the first episode of Fazbear Toddler Fun, starting with more text on a blue background. But instead of being from the Chica Bully, this time, it comes from Michael.
It's been 3 weeks since I last played the game. I haven't been able to sleep since then. I've been seeing things. Demons. Figures that move when you stare and are gone when you blink. And every morning after these attacks, I wake up with marks on my body. Last night, these scratched my legs. It feels like they're trying to drag me with them. I'm dizzy, I'm confused, but I keep getting sucked back into playing. You still haven't got back to me. Jared isn't responding to my calls either. He sent you this game too, right? Did he get the shit I've been getting? Please respond to my emails, Lance. You haven't been reading them.
What Joseph said to Michael in the previous video was not empty threats. As opposed to FNAF 4, where the nightmares are actively trying to harm the bite victim, in this universe, the bite victim seemingly has control over the nightmares or a version of them.
Так, ладно, я еще хочу кофе. Сори.
Last night, these scratched my legs. It feels like they're trying to drag me with them. I'm dizzy, I'm confused, but I keep getting sucked back into playing. You still haven't got back to me. Jared isn't responding to my calls either. He sent you this game too, right? Did he get the shit I've been getting? Please respond to my emails, Lance. You haven't been reading them.
What Joseph said to Michael in the previous video was not empty threats. As opposed to FNAF 4, where the nightmares are actively trying to harm the bite victim, in this universe, the bite victim seemingly has control over the nightmares or a version of them.
Так, ладно, я еще хочу кофе. Сори. Окей, я себе сделал кое-что лучше. Я себе сделал... так, сейчас, свойства... Да. Я себе сделал, короче...
uses to directly harm and kill the bullies from FNAF 4, while being restricted to the confines of the game. We already know the name of the Bonnie bully, that being Lance, but here we finally learn the name of the previous player, the Chica bully, Jared. I consider this, as well as something else we'll see later on, to be proof that both Lance and Jared are dead. Michael reopens Fazbear Toddler Fun. Same splash screen, same message to Joseph, same main menu. Except for a few frames before the main menu appears on screen, the full message to Joseph is visible for the first time in 4 videos.
For Joseph. Fazbear Entertainment dedicates this game in memory of its co-founder's delightful son, Joseph Afton. Joseph was a caring, well-meaning child who meant so much to us here at Fazbear Entertainment. He was taken from us too soon, but the memories he left behind will bless us for eternity. May you and your sister be reunited together beyond the clouds for an eternity of peace and tranquility. Henry Emily, Fazbear Entertainment.
Joseph was already dead by the time this game was made. This game was not made for Joseph. This game was made in memory of Joseph. And because of this, somehow, Joseph has found his way inside the game as a way to end his unfinished business. Hi, sorry for breaking your immersion again, but I just need to let you know something. The session coming up is going to sound a lot different. I've been working on this video for so long to the point I switched my microphone 3 different times. I've gone from a Yeti Nano, to a regular Yeti, to now the microphone I'm currently using. The latter portion of this video is done with the Yeti microphone, but this part right now is done with this new microphone. They sound a lot different, so I thought it'd be better to tell you directly before you're slapped in the face with the change in audio. Hopefully it's not too jarring, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the video. Right back to where we left off last time. An open field, with only one option to choose from. That one being the Cove.
There you are, friend. Welcome to Pirate Cove. I'd sure love to sit back and play around at the beach right about now, but first things first. We gotta find Foxy and the birthday cake.
Looking for someone, Fazbear? Yar har har! About time you willy stomper showed up.
Game over, Foxy. We need to get back to our show soon. Please hand over the cake.
But what fun would that be? You just got here after all. Let's make things a little more adventurous.
Just like before, Foxy sprites are corrupted, somehow being even more worse for wear than last time. Every time Foxy has even slightly been on screen, he's been deformed. This time around, the corruption has gone for the sprite simply cutting in and out, to his head cut off, and now, whatever this is. Michael starts his hunt for the pieces of the map. Currently, there's only one option available, so with no other choice, Michael goes where he's told, that being the first minigame, in the Cove. What happens in this next minigame is confusing. The task before the player is simple, but The game is in even more disrepair since the last time Michael played. It's collapsing under itself, yet just stable enough to continue playing. This will be the last time this will happen, but I'm going to skip this minigame. Just like Space Adventure in the second video, nothing of note really happens. What does happen has happened before, and will continue to occur for the rest of the video. Despite that, Michael completes this minigame, and the first piece of the map to Adventure Bay has been found. Another ticket just so happened to be in the sand as well, so now Michael has access to the next minigame, which he heads to without a moment to spare.
Why, hello. I heard you're looking for a piece of the map, so I thought I could help.
Chica's voice is clipping in and out. The scenery is nice, but there's definitely something going on. And despite everything being the way it is, Michael is still here. He's still playing. Why is he still playing? Nothing good will or has come from this game. It's only getting worse. Is he just too curious to stop? Or maybe it's something more. Nightmares have begun attacking him in the middle of the night and will probably continue their attack the longer this game remains unfinished. If he doesn't play the game, he will die. If he plays the game, he will die. By now, Fazbear Toddler Fun has stopped being a game. It is now turned into a walk to Michael's death. A slow, painful walk, but one that will, hopefully, soon be over. For the most part, things appear to be normal, minus the UI glitching in and out, until Foxy once again shows up, this time taking the form of his previously missing head, appearing more as a plush or a mask. Honestly, I'm not sure. But given the context of everything else we've seen so far, I think it being interpreted as either of these works for what it's trying to convey to Michael. Speaking of Michael, he ignores it being on screen in the first place, rightfully disinterested in whatever scare the game is desperately trying to throw out. Beating the minigame, Michael receives both the next map piece and a ticket, and gets sent back to the hub world. Proceeding further, Michael selects the next minigame, Circus Party, a far cry from the more beach-like aesthetic we've seen so far. He can't proceed. Michael tries repeatedly pressing on the minigame to no avail. As he tries to continue, a sound can be heard from behind. It's hard to say what this sound is, but it sounds to me like the groaning from the first Five Nights at Freddy's game. Take a listen. If you played FNAF 1, which most of you probably have, you know this isn't a good sign for Michael.
Well, howdy! Glad I was able to find you. I was gonna look for you, I promise. But I got a little distracted. Nobody told me the circus was coming to town. But good news, while I was here, look what I found. That's right. It's one of those map pieces you're looking for. Sorry I couldn't give it to you sooner, but look at this place. There's all kinds of fun going around here. They've got elephants, they've got magic tricks, they've got balloons, they've got peanuts, they've got clowns, they've got... clouds! Ah! Clouds! And they stole our map piece! gosh, I wish I could get it back, but to tell you the truth, I'm afraid of clowns. You're gonna have to teach those clowns what's right, little buddy. Get in on their act and get our prize back.
This minigame actually looks fun. It looks more interactive and like an actual minigame than stuff we've seen previously. Michael might actually be able to have some fun. Shouldn't be too hard, right? Well, Michael, for whatever reason, doesn't play the game. Outright stops. No movement. Either he's gone tired of dealing with the game's machinations, or the clowns mean something deeper to him. I'm not one to pick and prod at things I do not or should not be involved with, so we'll drop this for now. The game, after a brief period of time, starts communicating with Mike.
Stop it. You know why you deserve it.
As these words are spoken, the surrounding game elements start having a meltdown. Joseph is growing more angry towards Michael. Him not playing the game is going directly against everything Joseph set out to achieve. So, he looks for more drastic measures to get him to play along. Starting with a timer.
Scary after all. Not so scary after all.
Despite Michael's efforts to escape the game, it proceeds, acting as if he beat the game on his own. Joseph does not want Michael leaving, and he will do everything in his power to make sure Michael sees this. To the end.
Hey there, I'm happy to see you. I was exploring this jungle in hopes of finding one of the map pieces to Adventure Bay. I have a feeling we might find some.
Despite Michael's efforts to escape the game, it proceeds, acting as if he beat the game on his own. Joseph does not want Michael leaving, and he will do everything in his power to make sure Michael sees this. To the end.
Hey there, I'm happy to see you. I was exploring this jungle in hopes of finding one of the map pieces to Adventure Bay. I have a feeling we might find some. Something just beyond this path. Follow me. Look, it's another piece of the map. Hooray! We found it.
Yo-ho-ho!
The next and hopefully final map piece is stolen by a new character, a very eccentric personality by the name of Captain Snagglepuss, which seems to be an original character for this game. In order to get the map piece, Michael must win against Snagglepuss in a few rounds of the shell game.
Before ye stands me 3 cups and the treasure. When I put them down, pay close attention to the cup that hides the treasure. I'll move them around so quickly that you'll never be able to remember the correct cup. Yo-ho-ho-ho!
For this game, we'll need to pay close attention. Watch the cup with the map piece carefully as the cups are moved around.
Good luck, swashbucklers. Just kidding.
Так, я надеюсь, меня слышно тут.
Hope you were paying attention. Now make your pick.
In the first round, Michael immediately fails. Joseph, not wanting to wait for Michael, decides to intervene, deleting the other two cups not currently holding the map piece once Michael clicks on them. He's beating this game, one way or the other. Once Michael finds the map piece, the game starts acting up.
Офигеть, окей, это стрёмно. Так, окей. Произошла ошибка. Это может быть... Короче, это может быть что-то не так с игровыми файлами или системной перегрузка. Или может быть вы используете нестабильную или нелегальную копию. Перезапустите игру моментально. Типа сейчас. Прямо сейчас перезапустите игру. Сейчас. Я просто забыл immediately. Типа это как бы по факту моментально. Типа прямо сейчас. Если система будет отказываться работать, пожалуйста, верните этот диск. Или избавьтесь от него. Какая-то стрёмная херня происходит.
With the game in a state of complete disrepair, Michael tries something he hasn't touched before. That being, games. And in doing so, opens a seemingly endless rabbit hole. One that Michael is a core part of.
Так, ладно. Я еще один бутерброд хочу. Я просто люблю бутербродик, извините.
Michael tries something he hasn't touched before. That being, games. And in doing so, opens a seemingly endless rabbit hole. One that Michael is a core part of.
Так, ладно. Я еще один бутерброд хочу. Я просто люблю бутербродик, извините.
Welcome to Fazbear's Art Studio. This is an entire other game hidden away inside of Fazbear Toddler Fun. It's a different art style, and a different type of game. It feels like everything we've seen so far has been flipped on its head. As opposed to Fazbear Toddler Fun, the main menu feels more welcoming. It feels like nothing could really go wrong. But, as we've seen before, in Fazbear Toddler Fun, a friendly face does not exist. Entering the game, something entirely new shows up. That being 3D.
Hey, you made it just in time to my brand new art studio. But Freddy, what on Glory's green earth is an art studio, you ask? Well, here, you can create anything you want to. Whether that's drawing a new member of the Fazbear Band, creating a rocking new hit solo, or even directing a hilarious story with me in the game. The possibilities are endless. Take a look around the place and let your imaginations go wild. Well, I best not hold you any longer. Have at it, Rockstar. And you know where to go if you're craving some deliciously fresh pizza.
Once Freddy is done talking, he leaves Michael to his own devices. In a choice between the three options available, he chooses what's directly in front of him. That being... For the first time, Michael has a way to directly interact with Joseph. He can write words down on this canvas. Maybe Joseph wanted to bring him here. Michael tries writing the word hello. No response. In turn, Michael tries leaving, which causes the home button to disappear. After a few moments, purple tears start flowing down the page, almost in the same vein as Balloon Boy from all that time ago. Joseph has caught up to Michael. Michael decides to check out another art-based activity, located to his right. This one seems to be a coloring book. Michael flips through the different pages, marveling at the artwork. That, or he's just waiting for it to glitch out, which he finds in droves. Some of the art is already colored in, seemingly being worked on in real time behind the scenes. And on one specific drawing, Foxy's head is blacked out. Again. Michael flips through the pages again, and lands back on Foxy, who appears to be gone, outright removed from the picture. It only takes a few more moments for Joseph to strike.
Welcome to the Make a Thing Studio. Select one of the stories below, and later on, you'll be able to draw something into the story that one of us will interact with. Doesn't that sound cool? Sure makes me hungry, though. Maybe I'll draw myself some pizza.
Like most things, there's a cartoon for each band member. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica. But, again, as it's happened over and over again, Foxy is nowhere to be seen. He has to have his own cartoon, right? He's a core part of the band, after all. Looking past that, Michael selects Freddy's cartoon. This cartoon acts mostly normal, nothing out of the ordinary.
Whoa.
Okay, прикольно.
Hey there, friend. You from around here? Oh, cool. What? Where's my space blaster? Help me neutralize the giant robot! Throw me my handy space blaster so I can defend myself!
Michael attempts to follow the game's instructions, but right as he's about to draw Freddy's blaster, he stops, instead deciding to proceed without drawing anything. Which makes Joseph very angry. I was right. Foxy does in fact have a cartoon, although we only see one scene. Nothing more. As his laugh continues repeating, text shows up at the bottom of the screen, reading,
"You didn't save him. No one did."
This text with a large, towering robot on screen leaves little room to imagine what it's trying to portray. Entering the game, Funtime shows up on screen, devoid of any voice acting or noise. The game seemingly skips past them and brings Michael almost immediately to the main event, that being this music creation thing. This is a shot in the dark, but I think this is supposed to represent a car. Specifically, the car from Midnight Motorist. I'm not going to go into any detail about this as I'm genuinely lost for words on what this is supposed to be, if anything at all. Michael tries playing some music. Emphasis on trying, he isn't really getting anywhere. Everything seems rather normal. That is until Michael selects the buttons on the top of the model.
Gabriel.
The names Susie and Gabriel are heard, these 5 buttons seemingly being the names of William Afton's victims. Michael, having a direct connection to the Aubergine fellow, immediately leaves the activity, more than likely shaken up by what just happened. As he heads back to the art studio, the power goes out.
Uh-oh, looks like the power went out. I thought we were good until next month. Let's see here. Mama! Mama! Looks like we'll need to turn the power on another way. Want to tag along? It's a bit dark in here.
Instead of playing along, Michael says no. He's done entertaining Joseph. Almost in an attempt to mock Michael, the game starts playing the names of the missing children.
Susie. Fred. Gabriel. Jeremy.
And as he enters the final activity,
Cassidy.
Ho ho! Ahoy there! And welcome to Fazbear's Filmmaker, where fantasy and fun truly does come to life. Choose whichever characters you wish to partake in a mighty and tremendous new tale. Just don't be
For the first
portraying
time,
me
Foxy
as
is
some
actually
sort of scaredy
normal. He was normal earlier, but seeing that cartoon wasn't intended. This is fully intended, and it actually works as it's supposed to. It's honestly pretty nice being able to see Foxy up and about after— wait. Hang on. Run that back. Bullseye. This is a nightmare. These are nightmares. Nothing we've seen in this episode, or in the series for that matter, has actually happened. This isn't the game glitching out or being manipulated. It's Joseph using the nightmares to create illusions. The mask only slits for a short period of time, but when it does, you can tell. And seemingly, Joseph's attempts at tormenting Michael are making it easier to spot. It's backfiring. The illusion is fading. Or, if we want to take this down the more sinister route, Joseph is leaning on the illusion less and less as Michael is approaching the end. Regardless, we know, finally, this game, what these people have experienced, everything within these videos, are not real. Once Michael regains control, he looks through what's available in the Fazbear Filmmaker, and almost immediately, there's something out of place. One of the locations, instead of being a set right out of a cartoon, is Joseph's bedroom. Seemingly, it draws his attention to Michael as he selects it. Instead of choosing any of the animatronics, Michael scrolls through the characters before deciding to choose one of the kids. And as he does,
My First Film by Joseph Afton. It was like any other day, alone with my thoughts. I am afraid to go out because you always picked on me. Today wasn't any different. I never had real friends, just people who stuck around because they were told to. I could see it in the way they talked to me, the way they all talked to me. Nobody really cared about me.
Мне, кстати, такой голос очень напоминает озвучку персонажа Сьюзи. Ох, дайте вспомнить. Короче, возможно, кто-то смотрел The Walton Files. Так вот, там была Сьюзен, ну вот фамилию забыл, которая была одним из механиков, которая погибла от рук Бона.
Understand, Michael. You knew I loved you so much. You knew I didn't want to go. Why did you let them antagonize me? I'm afraid, Michael. I don't want to go. Please don't make me go. cried. As tears went down my cheek, you had yours turned. You could have done something. Even in death, I still thought that I should have forgiven you. But you decided to hide me away. You proved me wrong once again. You hated the thought of me that much. I still remember that final voice.
Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry.
But it meant nothing. I was starting to blame myself for a lot of what happened after. I thought I was too afraid. I thought I should have done something more. But now, I know. That wasn't fair, wasn't. It was you who let me die and ruined our family. You never loved me back. All you did was lie to me. It was all your fault. They're not really here. I know that. But I think they never let this go. I know you haven't, either. That's why you still come back. Even when you're not here, I'm still with you at night. They're still with you at night.
Okay. Окей. Игра опять сломалась.
After all this time, after everything Michael has been through, we are at the final thing left inside this game. The same thing we saw back at the beginning of the series. Special.
Surprise! Congratulations, birthday buddy. You succeeded in helping us get our cake back and performing our show on time. I knew you wouldn't let us down.
You sure did us a great favor, pal. You're welcome at Freddy's anytime you'd like.
Great work.
Say, when are we gonna dig into that delicious cake?
Funtime's starving.
Me too. No, me the most.
One moment, guys. Before we dig in, I think our birthday buddy deserves that big birthday prize. Smile.
Michael is dead. He's been dead since we started watching these videos. He's gone. Everyone is gone. Despite this, our new player reopens the game, and almost immediately, something is different. What was once a message to the deceased Joseph has become a welcome sign for our new player. The text now reads,
Hello, Peter.
Once at the main menu, the cursor frantically selects Movies, and then Fredbear Archives, the other video we haven't seen yet, where one of my personal favorite tropes show up, that being Rankin Bass stop motion.
And you remember how we rehearsed it, right, nephew?
You sure did.
Good. Now to focus on that stage fright of yours.
But Uncle Fredbear, how's a big fat scaredy cat like myself gonna get over some stage fright? I'm like a cock without the clock.
Hey now, there's a fire where I'm from. Now don't beat yourself up, kid. Listen, during those 5 minutes before our first show, I had so many butterflies in my stomach that it tasted like a spring picnic on the inside. But it only took a song and a dance with my bunny buddy, Bunny Bill, and what do you know it? They all loved us. You just gotta give it your all on stage, ready? And in no time,
I'll be the next best bear in the business?
better than all the bears that came before.
Well, maybe you're right. Thanks, Uncle Fredbear. You're the smartest animal I know. I guess if I want my first show to stick the landing, I ought to show 'em all what me and the gang are made of.
Hey, that's my nephew. Now there's a couple of minutes left before our show starts. Finally got the guts to bring praise to the Fazbear name.
Oh boy, do I. But I'll be honest, I don't think I can ever have the guts you have, Uncle Fredbear.
What, 'cause I taught you everything you know?
Because I have a proper diet. Well, sure. I guess that too.
No, I'm telling you, I get a respect around you.
Come on, fellas. The show starts in 1 minute.
Leave it to the Fazbears to be late for everything.
Come on, Foxy, be nice. We're ready when you are, boys.
We're on our way.
They all came before.
Yeah,
That's leopard. 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 They all came before.
yeah.
That's leopard. They all came before.
Finally, we made it to Special. Peter selects the photo album, where we finally see what happened to those that came before. Everyone before Michael met the same fate as him, Lance and Jared. Breaking the silence. Lance 4. Everyone before Michael met the same fate as him, Lance and Jared. Breaking the silence.
Ready for another adventure?
Peter joins them. In fate. Joseph got what he wanted. What he deserved.
those that wronged him met their end at his own hands. And this marks the end of Fazbear Toddler Fun. This universe only encapsulates the first 4 FNAF games. It starts and ends with the bite victim. There is no remnant, there are no funtime animatronics. FNAF 6 in its entirety does not happen. Joseph takes out Michael and the rest of his friends one by one before coming to an eternal rest. There isn't really anything to theorize here, as the story is pretty cut and dry. Everything you need in order to understand this series shows up in the videos, for the first time in a while. And to be honest, I like that. Obviously, I'm a fan of theorizing, but sometimes you want a clear-cut story, and that is what it is. Fazbear Toddler Fun is one of the only FNAF internet series to really scare me. It is a wonderful series. Untitled Video is one of the best pieces of work I've seen from this community. I highly recommend you check out the creator and subscribe to his channel. If this video is any indication of what's to come, it's gonna be worth sticking around to see what he does next. Like the previous time I made a video like this, I tried to get in contact with the creator of the series, Agent P-Man 1. Considering the stories contained in the videos, I wanted to learn a little bit about production. So, that's what happened. This marks the end of my video on Fazbear Toddler Fun. The rest of this video is a written interview with the creator of the series. I hope you enjoy.
Окей, мы досмотрели это.
FTF was actually inspired off of one video I came across on Twitter back in 2019. It was gameplay of this crusty, cheap-looking SpongeBob game that I really liked the vibe of for whatever reason. Eventually FNAF came to mind as well as FNAF VHS, which got popular around the time. So I then came up with the idea of a FNAF VHS series, but in the style of that crusty SpongeBob GBA video. It eventually became more 90s PC game inspired as the series developed. But that's how the general idea started. The whole series was actually made through editing. From videos 1 to 3 I was using Windows Movie Maker, and had to create every frame manually through programs like Paint.net, with a bit of SFM and Blender sprinkled in more often later on. For video 4, I started using OpenToonz, Blender, and Wondershare to animate and edit everything together. Starting with the FTF1 remake, there was a set idea for the story that throughout work on the series we tried to improve, rework, and experiment with, up until video 4, where I think we finally understood what we ultimately wanted. Basically, it wasn't all set in stone from the beginning, but there was a story that we wanted to tell since the start. Gotta give a massive thanks to AK_Kaijo for helping me flesh it out. When we were planning episode 4, we took another look at the whole series and figured out how we should keep the story simple and easier to understand. We spent months going over and redoing episode 4's script so that not just the video story could make more sense, but so that it can help make the rest of the series make sense when watching it through. He managed to pull it off fantastically. Episode 4 definitely took the longest in terms of video production for sure. In terms of scenes, I want to say maybe the Fazbear Art Studio section of FTF4, due to the planning and generally trying to figure out what to have in there throughout making it, as well as finalizing of course. In terms of my favorite part of the series to make, I think it might have been making Safety first. We had a fun time making and writing the characters, and to this day we still want to do more with them someday. If there's one thing I could say, as cliché as it sounds, is to not take feedback to heart. I remember when I saw my first it was and semi thinking it was the end of the world. It might take a good while before you properly develop your vision the way you want it. Don't be afraid to share what you come up with, and hear from viewers what works best with your project and what doesn't. The more feedback, the better. Don't be afraid to work with a team of trusted people too. This series might never have gotten where it is if it weren't for the incredible team of people I got to work with to help shape it up. And if there's one last thing I can add, don't hesitate to go all out with your project. If you have a certain vision for it, go all the way. Even if it takes weeks, months, years. The best projects, in my opinion, are the ones that really show off the passion from the people behind them. Make your series something you can look back on years later and still be proud of.
Да, это были бы шикарные.
Bye-bye.
Так, ладно. Окей, это было интересное видео. Это было интересное, на самом деле, видео.
Three weeks ago, a YouTuber that I've been watching for the better part of a year now, called Bringus Studios, uploaded a video called Gaming on the CS Office Computer from Counter-Strike Source. The video, as of August 22nd, has 1.1 million views, probably one of his best, if not the best, video he's made in a while, and he put in a lot of effort. He went the extra mile to really do his research and actually try and recreate the CS Office computer setup in real life. It's really cool. As someone who's played Source games since about 2008, 2009, I really enjoyed it. It felt kind of like an homage or some sort of like love letter or something to the older days of gaming. The CS Office PC always kind of intrigued me as a kid because there were a lot of components inside of it that seemed familiar to me. Like, I knew there was a PATA hard drive, there was like an old school kind of CPU cooler, there was an old like sound card in there, there was like an AGP graphics card of some sort, there was like a PATA optical drive, it was beige, and there was like RAM sticks, DDR RAM sticks. Like when I was playing Source games, my PC had DDR1, it didn't even have dual channel DDR1, it was just DDR1. So to me, it always felt kind of interesting to see this computer that's like, you know, very similar to what I have. And I always used to have fun like changing the material of the CS Office PC case and then putting components inside of it and like making custom PCs in a weird childish way. There was just one thing that really irked me with the video, and it's not anything to do with Bringus Studios, it's actually to do with something that he discovered about the CS Office PC itself. And that is it's having an identity crisis. It's two PCs at once when technically it should only be one of them. It's not possible for it to be those two PCs at once. Basically, it's a Dell Dimensions 8400, but the internals are completely different from the Dell Dimension 8400. They're more modern, and they're also different size. I believe the 8400 is an M-ATX or something like that, and the regular Asus motherboard that's shoved in there is a full-size ATX motherboard. So different generation and just different hardware. And what ended up happening is that basically Bringus went with buying a Dell Dimensions 8400, not touching it, and just running with that. And hey, by all accounts, he bought the peripherals, he bought the monitor. I had the same monitor in the past. It's truly terrible. It's dim as hell, and it's awful to use. Will not be buying another one. And he did it. It was really fun to watch, but I couldn't help but wonder, are we gaming on the real CS Office PC, or are we just gaming on what looks like the CS Office PC? Because the internals are much more powerful than what's in a Dell Dimensions 8400. So ever since that video, I've kind of been thinking like, what is it really like to game on like the actual setup and everything hardware that's inside of that PC? The original PC. We'll start with the most glaring thing. The interior of the case is actually the original Antec Sonata. I love that little lettering there. I looked at pictures of it, and I'm sure it's a nightmare for dust and stuff, but oh man, it looks so cool. Unfortunately, finding something like this is going to be very difficult because this is not something I'm willing to go overboard and spend a ton of money on, because shipping cases is just, don't even get me started, but I'll see what I can do. Next up, we have the motherboard, which is an Asus A8V, apparently a deluxe. The deluxe has never had lettering on them, so I don't really know how to tell if it's a deluxe or not. Either way, we're gonna have to find this. This is gonna be very expensive and very difficult, so yeah. Next up, we have the video card. It's a Radeon 9800 Pro and a Radeon 9800 XT. I really don't know why they did this, but I guess we have two choices, 9800 Pro or 9800 XT. Next up, we have what looks like a Sound Blaster Audigy, the original Audigy, the first one. I can't tell if it's the 1394 model or not, but either way, an SB0090 will do just fine, so we'll look for that. The RAM, unfortunately, we have no details about regarding capacity or anything like that, so I guess just any old DDR RAM. Maybe we'll do 2 gigs, maybe we'll do 1 gig. I feel like the system deserves 2 gigs, but we'll see. The hard drive is an IBM DeskStar GXP, but interestingly enough, the underside of it appears to be what I think is a WD Caviar. I guess we kind of have two choices there, but maybe not. We'll talk about that in a bit. The optical drive is some sort of generic beige optical drive. I can't really tell what the model is because it's too pixelated. I think I'm gonna try and go for something that looks identical to this, but just with a black front cover, but it depends on what. 3 weeks ago, a YouTuber that I've been watching for the better three weeks ago, a YouTuber that I've been watching for the better part of a year now, back of the power supply. Additionally, this is designed for Pentium. However, we're probably is gonna be cooler. I don't know. There's always ways. Pretty pricey to put together. I don't upload too often to make a long video about it. So if you enjoy that, an obsession with something like this, and I'd love to make a long video about it. So if you enjoy that, consider. Oh, see that? Yeah. Result, and we can start 8. Apparently, like 1 or 2. We don't 4. Any game we have is going to be about single core or have. Oops. We're gonna go actually for the to run. Just don't 5. If you want to go out and buy like a 1000, to make a board that I myself was going to buy but decided not to because it didn't work, this was half of the reason why it didn't work, because the seller did not use the correct kind of power supply or the correctly spec'd or adequately spec'd power supply. CPU, I was really hoping, since I prefer CPU coolers with the fan, but unfortunately I only found like 1 or 2, and it was gonna be like next, and I the front plate is 200 and a Hitachi DeskStar, but these, but the other one, yeah. Let's get straight to it. Maybe not actually. I have one more thing to show you. RAM. Yeah, I know you guys are probably going to be a little bit upset because you looked at the title and you saw a completely different RAM in the system, but I kind of thought it over, and I figured if we're kind of building like a beefier system from 2004, then it probably would have had 2 gigs of RAM in it. 1 gig would have been kind of like, alright, it's pretty cool. 2 gigs would have been like, wow. I actually have a system in here, and it's funny. The story of this thing is really funny. As I was making the works, I fixed it. Unfortunately, the Sound Blaster sound card, which should be right here, has to be down here because it just doesn't work. As a matter of fact, getting that to work, period, has been very difficult via chipset moment. The RAM, as you can tell, is not a problem. Unfortunately, like the specific with the so is put together, we have to quickly talk about software, because yes, I would also like to kind of try to recreate what's shown on the CS Office PC screen. So let's get into it. We know that Counter-Strike Source came out in like October of 2004. So at that point, the most current version of Windows XP would be Service Pack 2. So we're going to go ahead and install Service Pack 2. Obviously, we're going to have to make some modifications to the fart bar. What else do we got going on here? I can tell the early 2000s, that picture masters or something. What else? Background, I believe it looks like a big mouse cursor. don't even know what that is. synccs.bat. Oh, check. We're here, and the CS Office PC is set up and basically ready to go. This is really, really cool. As I said, still a little bit disappointed about the RAM. Just a couple things I wanted to note before starting to kind of benchmark this system. We're not really going to benchmark it. We're just going to kind of eyeball it and see how it works. But obviously I didn't fully recreate the desktop. I kind of goofed around a little bit and tried. I'm not going to go that deep. Making this stupid thing here was incredibly difficult, and I never want to have to do that again in my life. So it stays. It's a staple of this PC now. We're aiming to run things at 30 FPS or better. We're very used to 60, but at this time, 30 to 40 FPS was kind of the target for a lot of things. So if we can do better than that, that's full-on freaking gaming, man. My target resolution is 1024 by monitor 8 out in flat time period. Not here loaded.
Да вы заебали, блядь! Ну хули вы звоните, человек, блядь, спешит!
And say, okay,
Ёбаный ты хуй!
how did it fare, or how will it fare with a couple of newer games? 40 FPS was kind of the target for a lot of things. So if we can do better than that, that's full-on freaking gaming, man. My target resolution is 1024 by monitor 8. Time period. Not here. Reloaded.
Заебали, блядь! Ну хули вы звоните, человек, блядь, спешит! Ёбаный хуй! Бля, пиздец, мне надо, короче, завершать стрим. Все БМБ.